Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Sunshine Glades and the Monster Tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the ultimate tournament guides for Pro, Expert and our Master by getting one of our guide packages. Link to our guides and Patreon is in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to follow me along with my adjustment and my club and ball suggestions and selections. And have in mind that you don't have to follow what I do suggest, but there is always a plan behind it, so have that in mind. Let's freaking go to hole number 1. So for hole number 1, we are going to play for green. This is a short par 4 where a hole-in-one actually is a possibility, but I would say that it will be very rare. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm using 2 topspin, 2 right spin, trying to aim for the ball guideline pointing towards the pin. However though, 2 bars of topspin in slight tailwind, it's gonna be a little bit too much. So reduce that to play with like 1.2 bars of topspin or something like that. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. You can see that I push up approximately 1 ring after the adjustment due to falling down to a lower terrain. So as going from a higher to a lower point means that you're gonna lose distance. So you can see here that even if we pushed up, we're still going to have the ball to bounce the first time at the same spot that we aimed. And that is something that is very important to have in mind in Golf Clash, is that once again that you go from a higher to a lower point, you will lose distance. You need to compensate for that by either using overpower or to push up. That's the same if you do have going from lower to a higher point, then you're going to gain distance instead. So you need to compensate in the opposite way in that way. So you can see that we play with a power 1 ball, and a power 1 ball can be played in crosswind and in tailwind. But as we do have a headwind, then a power 2 ball is going to be necessary to prevent us from going too much in between clubs. And short par 4 where an eagle is an absolute must with a slight chance for an hole-in-one. Hole number 2, good chance for a hole-in-one in my opinion. And here, when it comes to this rough bump that we're gonna play, you do have room for a great left and a great right, so you don't have to be concerned about that at all. I'm using 1 left spin and 3 bars of top spin. You can see that the ball guideline is going 1 green square through the hole. And I'm positioning myself at the absolute very min distance of my club. Adjustment is going to be minimum distance, no elevation, with power 0 ball number. So I'm adjusting 2 rings for 2.6 miles per hour. Center the ball, hit perfect, and if you do adjust properly and you hit perfect, you will have a very good chance making a hole-in-one here, which we will doing here with getting the Marlin ball right at pin. A Marlin here is, in my opinion, a very important choice, as power 0 ball will prevent you from being in between clubs from doing the rough bump. So let's say that you were going in with a power 2, power 3 ball, you won't be able to play the rough bump. And that's why, again, a power 0 ball is very important. For hole number 3, we are going to play on the right hand side using the quarterback. Here I'm using quarterback level 7, and I would say the lowest level quarterback to use is going to be quarterback level 6. I'm using max top spin, which is 3 bars and 2 bars of side spin to the right. Blue ring by the rough line. You can see that I'm focusing a lot on the ball guideline to point straight over to the other fairway. I'm not trying to do anything unnecessarily aggressive on this drive, as even if I would push it more aggressive, I would still not be able to get more distance than what I'm getting with this type of shot. The reason for that is that we do have all this water around the fairways that will cause a trouble if we push it too much. We adjust the drive, even though we are not in max distance, we're going to use maximum distance for our drive. 10% elevation is what we are going to use. For the second shot, we're going to be somewhere between medium and maximum distance, but I'm adding maximum distance there just because we will be closer to maximum than what we will be to medium when it comes to a power 1 ball. I would, however, though, recommend for those of you that are playing this hole and you may have a headwind or you have a crosswind, then it would be better to play with a power 2 or power 3 ball instead to minimize the risk of having to go with overpower. You can see here now that I'm playing with a sniper level 6, and here I'm going to have to eyeball it a little bit as I don't have a fully developed ball guideline, which those of you having sniper level 7 or better will have a massive advantage for having. So you can see that I'm gonna miss this shot pretty badly to the right of the pin, but again, it's all due to the ball guideline here. Having a ball guideline, or like a good ball guideline to have the possibility to aim more direct at the pin, is gonna be such an advantage that it's just ridiculous. So those of you, like myself, having sniper level 6 will be in a disadvantage in a shot like this, and the albatross will be very rare. We will always be around the hole though, but again, it will be very rare. No elevation for the second shot using max distance number on this shot, but again, it all depends on what type of club distance you're in. Hole number 3 offers a decent chance if you have a good ball guideline, otherwise it's gonna be mostly an eagle. Hole number 4, we're gonna play ourselves down the left hand side. You may be wondering why don't go through the center trying to get to green. I'm gonna explain why in a bit. So 4.5 bar top spin, 3 left spin. I'm aiming on this little island you can see into that is inside the water here. Adjustment is max plus 10, even though we are not in max distance. I would still recommend you to play max plus 10. Outside wall left curl, meaning the left side of the ball to be just outside the adjustment ring to the left, and try to hit perfect. Unfortunately, a little great left here on this shot, but we're still getting the ball down the fairway as we would like. The thing we need to pay attention to is the trees on the right side. We don't want the trees to be in our view when we are taking the second shot, meaning that it shouldn't cover anything, and here it's just totally fine. You can see there that minimum distance line is pretty far back, so it's very important that you check where minimum distance line is, so you can make a judgment of what type of adjustment you shall be playing. So in this case, I'm playing this one in between minimum and medium distance with no elevation, and I'm going for a dunk. And the reason I'm going for a dunk here, and also the reason I'm playing with a thorn, is 2 reasons. One, we do have all the backspin needed, so even if we miss the pin or the cup, we will still get the ball to stop for a safe birdie. But also the terrain on, or at least the green and the fairway before the green, is very bumpy and it's very glitchy, and it's going to be very tough to get any type of consistency bouncing that ball up towards the pin. And that's why, in my opinion, playing the dunk is the best way of attacking the pin for an eagle here. Obviously, it's up to you to decide whatever way you want to play, but hole number 4, in my opinion, is definitely a good chance for an eagle. For hole number 5, we're gonna play a par 3 that, in my opinion, are one of the tougher ones in the whole game. And the reason for that is that it's very bumpy, and it's also a very glitchy one there by the fringe. But we're gonna do our best, obviously, and we're gonna use 1 right spin. And then we are going to look for the spot where the ball guideline is going, it's not gonna roll through the hole. You can see here now that even if we do have a good ball guideline here at 4.5, the ball guideline is not showing the rollout. Red ring by the sand trap line is what we're gonna do, and then it's max plus 20 power 1 ball settings. Adjustment is done, center the ball and try to hit perfect. Again, this is not a par 3 where a hole in one is gonna be, you know, money, but we will definitely have a shot for you here that provides you a good opportunity for a hole in one on an otherwise tough par 3. If you are very uncomfortable with your adjustment, that you might feel that the bunker comes a lot in play, move your target more to the left and use more backspin and just land it on green, take the putt for a birdie. But again, if you do want to try to attack the pin for a hole in one, this is the best way to do it. Navigator ball, only thing that is needed. You should be able to play with a Marlin as well, but I feel that the Navigator still reduces the wind to an amount that I do feel comfortable with playing. So for hole number 6, we are going to use our quarterback and we're gonna play with a katana ball. 3 left spin, 3 top spin, and we are going to look for the ball guideline to be just short of the top of the rough. Max plus 10, and then we shall apply half a ball of curl to the left. The only idea here with this shot is to get the ball to be somewhat as close to the rough line as possible. Obviously, like, if we push it too hard, we may roll into the rough, and that will cause a problem. So make sure to give yourself at least a little bit of room. But again, it's better to get, you know, closer than what I am in the video than being further away from where I am in the video. So second shot, you can see that I'm checking where max club are, and I'm gonna play this shot without any spins. Here we do have a massive advantage if we do have a sniper level 7 or better, as we do have a 4.5 ball guideline, which sniper 6 and below will not have. Adjustment here in the video is that I do adjust for medium distance with a 10% over adjustment, but I would recommend to go with no elevation and then go with approximately 60% of my club. In this instance, obviously this could vary depending on what type of distance you have after your dry, but the correct elevation should be 0, not 10%, which was my mistake and the reason why I missed to the left here on this shot. Again, you can play with many different type of balls. I would, however, recommend to play with minimum a power 1 ball, as otherwise you will risk going in between clubs on the second shot. So hole number 6 for y'all. Hole number 7 is going to be a tough par 4, in my opinion the toughest of the 3 par 4 that we do have of the Sunshine Glades, but it's still going to be an opportunity. 4.5 par top spin, 1 right spin, aim close to the rough line with your yellow ring, but more importantly ball guideline pointing straight down the center of the second fairway. Adjust max plus 10 even though we are not in max distance of our club. Bounce on the fairway, getting over to the other fairway and rolling nicely down. Our idea here now is to get to a long iron in close to a minimum distance of our club. So I'm checking here where is max, where is minimum, and that's where I'm going from. So here in this case I'm playing this one 15% of my club, as I was very close to minimum distance line. Very important to play with a long iron that do have a decent amount of backspin, so the backbone is a perfect club for just that. We need to have the ball guideline short of pin though, as I'm kind of misreading the extra bounces from my backbone, and you will notice me coming in too hot, but I will come in a line that is very good. So I just need to correct with adding a little bit more backspin, then this would have been a very good chance for a drop. 10% elevation, true club distance, perfect ball, and you will notice once again that I need a little bit more backspin. And I would say for the second shot here, the trick is to aim with your first bounce on the fringe. You may be wondering why, and the answer to why is due to, once again, a very bumpy and uneven fairway and green. So therefore the fringe is absolutely the best way to have the first bounce if attacking the pin for an eagle. For hole number 8, we find ourselves with another good opportunity for an hole-in-one. So starting with a power 1 ball in crosswind and in headwind to make sure that we can find the minimum distance line. You can see here that, that moving back into minimum distance line will help us to get a firm landing spot. So finding a minimum distance line, 1 left spin and top spin to leave the ball guideline approximately 1 green square short of pin, but also aiming just a little bit to the right of the pin as well, as you can see on the video. Adjustment is going to be minimum distance, no elevation, power 1 ball settings. So what adjustment will be is 2.2 rings for 2.9 miles per hour. If you do have a tailwind, you may be wondering what to do then, because that would bring this club in between clubs, if that would be the case. So, tailwind, we play with a long iron. And when we play with a long iron, it's important to have packed the Goliath, to make sure that you do utilize all the power on the long iron, and also that you're playing with a minimum power 2 ball to, once again, make sure that you actually can reach to a spot that is comfortable enough and not putting any water in play. Right at pin for an hole-in-one here on hole number 8, which I see to be the second easiest of the par 3. I rank hole number 2 to be the easiest of them 3, then hole 8, and after that hole number 5. Hole number 9 is going to be a tough one for those of you with lower level clubs. And the reason for that is that we want to play on the left hand side to even have a slight chance for making an albatross. And that's obviously what I'm trying to do here in this playthrough, is to try to give you opportunities of getting some extra goodies on your scorecard. Add all the topspin you can and 2 bars of right spin. Stretch out your target so you can see the ball guideline going straight over the water and to be centered on the fairway. Adjust max plus 10 and then we shall apply overpower. In this instance I'm using 3 rings of overpower. You can go with max overpower, but I do like to use only an amount of overpower that I can control in a much better way than going max. Because if I'm going max and I'm hitting a very bad great left or a great right, I might go into the rough and then I might struggle getting to the green in 2. And that is not something that we do want to do. So play whatever amount of overpower you feel comfortable with. Obviously, if you do have a headwind, you need to go in max no matter what. Now, second shot, the problem we're going to have here is that we will be in a little bit of a pickle when it comes to having a bad ball guideline. As I mentioned on hole number 3, when playing with a bad ball guideline, it kind of decreases the chance of making an albatross here from distance. We're still going to have a chance, but it's going to be a tough one. So I'm trying to somewhat eyeball how the ball will roll out towards the pin. But again, it's going to be tough to get that one spot on. No elevation for the second shot, and it's true club distance numbers. So check where minimum distance club is, check where maximum distance club is, and adjust from there. Adjustment is made, center the ball and try to hit. Perfect. With a perfect ball here, the ball will be around the cup. I'm not saying that this ball is going to go in, but it's going to be around the cup, and if anything, it's going to be a very safe eagle. For those of you that do want to play aggressive, there is a rough bump on top of the bunker, but that's an aggressive one and you need to be really spot on with your adjustment, otherwise you will plug that ball into the bunker. A Titan ball is used as we do want to have as much power possible to simplify the drive. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various win for the Monster Tournament here in Golf Clash the game. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure to get one of our guide packages on Patreon. Link to Patreon and our guides is directly in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching and good luck in your Golf Clash game.